everybody, how you doing? This is Carmine. I bet you're expecting Ron, but I don't know where Ron is. He's having problems with his email, so this is a first for me to welcome everybody. And we're here. I just got back in Florida myself, and Vinny's on the road, so this is going to be a pretty wild one. But we have some good guests. We have Lizzie Hale from Hailstorm, and Tyler Bryant from Tyler Bryant and the Shakedown, and they rock, man. They're a great band, as is Lizzie's band, Hailstorm. And as a co-host today, because my brother Vinny couldn't be here, we brought our friend Melody from Liliac as a co-host. So let's bring Melody on and say hi.
Hello, everybody. I'm here.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How you doing? You look very bright and happy, and
yes, it's
all
all the
stuff.
lights,
Yeah.
So
you
yeah,
got light?
Vinny's
Oh, I
not
forgot
here.
to put my lights on. I have lights too. Yeah,
You're
put
kind
my
of looking a
lights
little
on.
dark
Hold
there.
on. Let me see if it looks better with my lights. Oh yeah, it does look
That's a
better with the
lot
lights.
better. Okay, now we have
Yeah.
to restart the intro. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, let's do it again. So, what do you think of that song, Monsters and Heroes?
Dude, that was a great intro. I was like,
Do
banging
you
my
know what that
head.
song's about?
What is it about?
It's about Ronnie.
Wow, I kind of heard like
Singer song
Man on the
singer. He's the
Mountain.
man on the mountain who wrote the
Yeah.
songs we all love. And then the chorus is Monsters and Heroes, Dragons and Rainbows in the Dark.
Oh, I
You know.
love that so
Yeah, Paul
much.
Shortino wrote the lyrics to that. And originally it was a King Cobra song called Monsters and Heroes. It was going to be like about Halloween, And then Paul said, you know what? I want to write it about Ronnie, And then he came up with amazing lyrics, And I'll have to send you a copy so you can listen
Yes,
to the
please
lyrics.
do. I really enjoyed
You
that
would sing
intro.
it great. Your band would play it great too. It's a
Yes,
great
I would
song.
love to play that song.
Yeah, and
But yeah.
we just released the King Cobra live in Sweden Rock Festival, and Paul did a Heaven and Hell a cappella with the audience, leading into that song Monsters and Heroes, and the audience sang Monsters and Heroes and Heaven and Hell with Paul and the band. It was awesome, really
Wow, that's
awesome.
so cool. Well,
Yes.
I'm very excited for today because we are having very special guests, and
Yeah.
I'm even like starstruck myself. But yeah, Lizzie Hale from Hailstorm
Yeah.
and Tyler Bryant from Tyler Bryant and the Shakedown.
Yeah.
They are insane. I just
They
listened
are.
to their new singles, and man, I can't wait to ask them about. I have so many questions, and I can't wait to
Okay.
ask them
Good.
all about them.
That's good. Well, let's bring them on. Let's bring Lizzie Hale from Hailstorm on first. Ladies first.
Hi.
There she is. Hey.
Hello, how
So
are
good to
you?
see both of you. Thank you so much for
Yes.
having me.
Good to
Seriously, this
see
is
you.
like made my week.
Yeah,
know.
that's fun.
That's
As
great.
I said before, I haven't seen you since that show we did called
hmm
No Cover. That my band Kodiak, who was on our show here a few
Yeah,
weeks
man,
ago.
they were great.
They're a great band.
So great
and
band.
They're trying to get signed. It's unbelievable the business today. How crazy
Oh
it is.
yeah,
I
it's
mean, it
tough.
takes a long time to get signed.
It does. It does.
Unless you do it yourself like Liliac's doing.
Yeah, you got to do it
Yeah.
yourself, or you got to like gang up with the right people. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's the way
And
it
then
is right now.
And then another group going to be doing that is Tyler. So let's bring on, come on,
Come
come
on,
on,
Tyler.
Melody. Come on,
Yeah,
Melody. I
hey,
thought you were
buddy.
going to
What's up,
introduce
y'all?
him.
Hi,
There he
Tyler.
is.
Hey, friends.
Yeah, good
Yeah.
to see you. Yeah, it's great.
Tyler and I are in the same area. We've
Oh.
we've you know.
You in Nashville?
We've passed out on each other's couches. That's like
no kidding.
we go
It's
deep.
true.
Yeah.
Where are you from, Tyler?
We
Where you?
fished together.
We have fished
Yeah.
together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are you actually from? Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Honey Grove, Texas, which is a town of 1,746
Wow.
people.
Oh, 46,
Wow.
eh?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Don't
specific.
forget that 46. Well,
That's what the sign
45.
says, dude.
Well, you left, so it's 45 now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 But yeah, I moved to Nashville when I was 17, and you were talking earlier. You were talking about playing at the Mercy. That's actually where I met Lizzie for the first
Yeah.
time.
Oh, really?
It's true.
Yeah.
Who was playing there?
It was a benefit.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Was
Yeah,
it was it
ours
the
was
was it the oh, what was it? What
I-
was that benefit? Yeah.
I
There's
forget.
been a couple of them. Yeah.
I want to say you sang "Nobody's Fault" though.
Mm.
I'm not sure what.
Oh. Maybe the Kimikaze
Yeah, that's
for
it.
just like cancer benefit thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, probably.
cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, when I listened to Tyler's band, I said, this guy sounds like a modern day Cactus. You know, because
Hell
blues
yeah.
rock, yeah, blues
That's
in
awesome,
there,
man.
really good blues, and yeah, I said, man, these guys are really good, really rocking, you know.
Well, thanks a
So,
lot,
So
man.
good.
how did you get to do that kind of music versus heavy metal?
Oh man, well, growing up in Texas, the blues is sort of you kind of have to learn about it, and then
Yeah,
I became obsessed with it. I met a guy named Roosevelt Twitty when I was 11 years old, and he was telling me about Lightning Hopkins and John Lee Hooker, and then the next thing I know, I was getting into ZZ Top and
wow,
Jeff Beck and Johnny Winter, and I started getting into more rock and roll, and then it was like Soundgarden and Stone Temple Pilots, and I've always just like wanted to play all of it at once.
yeah, sure. Well, I think
So
you come close to that. When I
thanks.
played with Edgar Winter, we actually went to Edgar and Johnny's parents' house in Texas.
Wow.
And
That's
that
cool.
was fun. And then we did a tour with Edgar and Johnny, and I ended up jamming with both of them, which was awesome because Edgar's so talented. I mean,
Man, he's so good.
he plays amazing sax, and his keyboard playing and his voice is just tremendous.
Man, there's this live recording of Edgar in the White Trash Orchestra doing Tobacco Road,
Oh yeah,
and it's like one of the most insane
20
live
minutes long.
recordings. Yeah,
20 minutes long.
unbelievable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I remember that album when it came out. It was because Ed was always playing. He's always like sidekick to Johnny or like
Yeah.
Johnny Winter and then Edgar would play with him. But then when he did this White Trash thing, he came out by himself. And then when he did a live one, Jerry LaCroix was the singer, I believe.
Okay.
And Rick Derringer played on that.
Yep.
I think. Good.
That's
All
amazing.
friends. Good, great musicians. And what about you? Where are you from originally, Lizzie?
Originally from Pennsylvania. Grew up there and then moved to Nashville about a decade ago. And just when I came here as a whim because we were all moving, we way overstayed our welcome with our parents' houses, because we were always on tour. So we just like come and like do spare bedroom things. And then a couple of us were just like, well, let's start storing our gear out of Nashville and the buses come out of there and all that. So like someone's got to be near the guitars. So we decided to do it and we just fell in love with this whole community because everyone laughed at me like when I was coming out of the PA scene and I'm going to Nashville. I'm just like, what, you're going to be country now? I'm just like, no, I'm just going there as this great central location. And then we found, as Tyler and I both have found together, this amazing rock and roll, blues, anything
now it is, yeah.
Yeah, anything you want to find in Nashville, it's here. And there's just this great appreciation for musicianship. Where it's like in Pennsylvania, I remember growing up, and even in the local PA scene, like you'd say you're in a band, they're like, well, do you know Metallica? I'm like, no, I don't know Metallica. Yeah, I'm playing down in the bar down the street. I don't know Metallica. But you come here and the first time we were ever in like a bar, one of the local waitresses was like, oh, what do you do? It's like, oh, we're musicians. She's like, oh yeah, me too. Nobody cares. It's like we're all a part of the same community and we all understand each other, which is really cool.
Yeah.
I think Melody has
I would
something to say.
Yeah, I do. I do have something to say. Ron is actually back. He is waiting backstage this very moment. So
Well,
we'd like to
keep him backstage.
Ron!
Ron! Sorry,
Ron,
dude.
what are you doing, bud? Hi.
Man, oh man.
This is hard taking over your job.
Well, yeah, there you go, huh?
Yeah.
I did it all on purpose, just for a little appreciation, a little love. But anyway, so good to see you guys. Here we are. I'm at rock and roll heaven outside of Chicago at St. Charles at the Arcada Theater, and I'm so happy and excited to be with you guys. You've got it's all full of youth, and I was listening to the story that Lizzie was just saying, and I love how give me right off the bat, Lizzie. These guys are a little bit younger. You're 13 years old. You and RJ got it. It's almost like a family band. It is a family band.
Yeah.
And you guys are doing it. And you're 13. He's 10. Now Melody and Tyler's they're not 13, but they sure as heck aren't 30. So give them a little bit of what made you stick with it?
I look back on that now, and I've been asked that a lot of times, and it's now at the point I'm 37 now. And so I've been in this
Oh,
band.
you gave your age away.
I've been in this band longer than I haven't been in this band in
Right.
my life.
Wow.
And so, but when that, I always say music chooses you, not the other way around, because I'm sure if there was an easier route, I would have taken it. But I remember, so like we had our first gig ever at the Schuylkill County Fair in Pennsylvania, and we're on our way to the show, and little bro is like 10, and he's annoying little bro. And he's like, well, we
I
can't.
know
Still
that
is, by
one.
the way.
I know.
Right?
I know that one
See,
well.
you all, I was gonna say you're gonna relate to this, right? But so like he's in the back of the van. He's like, Lizzie, we can't just go up there as Lizzie and RJ Hale. I'm like, well, why not? You know, I had no plans on starting a band, no plans whatsoever. We always played music together growing up, and my dad was a bass player, the whole thing. So there's like music in the house, and so we decided to do this gig outside of our parents' living room. You know, first show, and RJ's like, well, we have to have a band name. I'm like, well, Bud, we're not a band. And then over the course of the family ride to the show, we decided just for today, we're going to name the band Hailstorm. Just for today. And lo and behold, like I remember coming off that stage just shaking with adrenaline, be like, where else can we do this? Like we have to do this now. And like being at like the family table the next night, and like, you know, we had chicken and mashed potatoes or whatever, and like I'm just telling my parents, but it's like, no, like we got to do this and we got to do that, and like I want to like dive into some of those music videos that I love and all of that. And so like we just like circled the wagons and just decided this is it. And
Well, you could go ahead.
to
I'm
this
sorry.
day, no, but I'm just like, to this day, you know, like there has never been any other decision other than that.
But
And
it's
so it's
interesting.
really strange.
It's interesting how you and RJ made it happen, as opposed to now Melody. It was more, I think, was a little bit more about your dad, right? Like kind of pushing it, forming it, making it happen. You're like, okay, that sounds cool, right?
Yeah, basically, yeah, because our dad, he always grew up around music, and then we came along, and he's like, "I'm gonna make you guys a band," and we're like, "Okay." And so
Cool.
we would busk on the pier at the Santa Monica Pier in California, almost. No, actually, every single weekend, even if it was our birthdays, we would have to do it. And I was like, okay.
Would have been a drag if you couldn't sing, huh?
Right?
I know,
Yeah.
right?
Say that again?
You're naturally born extremely
singer.
talented,
Yeah.
And so that was a big thing.
I mean,
They all
if you-
are, the whole
if
family.
If you couldn't
all
sing,
in this interview
Yeah.
is
if
musically
you couldn't
talented.
sing the way you sing, and you know, it would be like a drag. It got, you know, pushing you to be the singer, and you can't sing. That would be a hassle.
Melody, when I first heard you guys play, I'm like, I literally like texted my mom. I'm just like, you should have popped out at least 2 more kids, and we could have had like the full
See?
thing going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Tyler, just touching on this youth thing a little bit, do you get the probably more annoying than not kind of comparison? Hey, man, you're just like a Joss Stone. You're just like a Johnny Lang. You're just like, you know, that started when they're like 14, 15, 16 as like almost prodigies. Do you get that at all?
I think when I was younger, I probably got that. You know, I moved to Nashville when I was 17 years old.
17.
I got out of high school and decided I wasn't going to go to high school anymore, and that I was going to start a rock and roll band. And I started the band that I'm in now, and I'm 30 years old now.
I know, right?
Wow. Wow.
But yeah,
You are not 30.
I am.
You look like you're 22 years old, dude.
Thanks,
Yeah,
man.
man.
I get
Keep
that a
that
lot.
up. Keep that up.
Thank you.
You know, go ahead, Liz.
When I saw him play, I said, "Man, this guy's a great player, and the girls probably love him. He's a good-looking dude."
Hey man, I'll take what I can get. If anybody likes me, then that's good.
No, Tyler, did Joe tell you we just bought like a photo book? It's like rock gods of whatever, and
Yeah, Joe texted me a picture of
and
that.
there's a picture of you in there when you were like super young. Like
man.
I don't know how old you were. Like maybe
I was like
15?
14 or 15.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was
cool.
so. It's like he's like on a car with his guitar. It was so
That was my
awesome.
granddad's.
I was
that
like,
was my
buddy!
granddad's truck. Yeah.
It was
man.
awesome.
Yeah, that was in Honey Grove, Texas. So Carmine, I was born in Paris, Texas. I don't know if you ever heard that
I was-
Rycooter soundtrack.
I played Paris, Texas with Edgar.
Oh, no
No
way.
way.
Oh,
Years
that's
Amazing.
ago in the
cool.
'90s, I remember I go, yeah, you know, with that southern drawl accent that he has. We're going to Paris. I said, Paris?
Yeah.
France? He
That's
goes, no, Texas. I said, oh, I didn't even know there was a Paris,
that's
Texas.
amazing, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was really excited the first time we ever played Paris, France, to tell the audience that I was born in a town that had an Eiffel Tower, only that ours was about 100 yards tall with a cowboy hat on top.
Yeah, right on.
Oh,
Right
that's
on.
That's
funny.
funny.
So
That's
let's talk
awesome.
about styles real quick because Melody, I look at your bands and it's all style. I mean, it's just all style.
Yeah.
Tyler, you've obviously got your own groove going. Hailstorm, you know, what else can we say about that?
Yes.
But it sounds to me, or it looks to me, and again, excuse my ignorance here because I'm not a musician. I just flap my jaws and I hire you guys basically at my venues.
Yeah.
But I'm always excited to hear how your styles evolve. I mean, Lizzie, did you come out right off the bat, you and RJ, with a Hailstorm look? Or Melody,
Oh.
did you guys come out with that look? Liliac, go ahead, Liz.
Hell no, man.
Right.
It's like we thought we rocked really hard, and we didn't actually. On that note, though, what kicked us into like the hard rock gear, honestly, was Carmen and Vinny because
Wow.
like my so one of our most favorite. So my dad would like get these DVDs or like the tapes and the VHSs of like
Right.
all these live performances when we first started getting into music. And my brother and I literally studied Vanilla Fudge on the Ed Sullivan Show,
Oh,
doing
wow.
doing Keep Me Hanging On. And
Yeah.
it was like that was like a huge monumental thing. And between you, Carmen, and Vinny, like my brother would not be flipping his sticks without that. We all of a sudden we were like, oh no, we have to get more intense, right? So then fast forward about 2 or 3 years later, we started getting introduced to a bunch of our friends were like, oh, like there's Metallica and there's, we grew up. So my brother and I grew up on my dad's music. So like when I was like 11, which was like 96, when it was like TLC was popular and Mariah Carey
Yeah.
and the whole thing, I was into Alice Cooper and Dio and Deep Purple and Pink Floyd and all of that. And so that was the year I found out that I was not cool. In any capacity with my girlfriends, guy friends, whatever. But then some of my neighborhood friends were like, oh, you're into metal. So they started bringing us into this kind of like more modern edge of things. So for whatever reason, my brother and I ended up combining this influence that we had in the 60s and 70s and 80s, and then kind of like brought in that kind of harder edge from the 90s, early 2000s, and then we've just kind of been developing it since then. But it really is a combination of everything, and you should never be afraid of that, I don't think. And I hear that a lot with Melody, and I hear that with Tyler. Like you can hear all of the little things that maybe
Exactly.
is just innately in your blood.
It's like when I said to Tyler, you listen to Cactus, and he said, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because I could
you
tell
hear it.
that
You hear
I
it.
could hear it. I hear it. But there's a great jazz drummer named Joe Morello played with Dave Brubeck Quartet, and he used to say, "Nobody has it all. We all take from each other,
Sure.
and we put it together and mash it up,
It's
and
true.
it comes out."
I mean, learn
in
from the
ourselves.
greats and become
That's it.
greater.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I didn't know Vanilla Fudge influenced you guys. That's pretty.
Oh,
cool.
you know what? That's the one thing, guys. I've been doing this show with you. We started the show. What are we? 50? No, I think it's our 60th episode, Carl.
60.
Yeah, so we've been doing this over a year, and we've had some of the biggest names in rock and roll, including today. And I got to tell you, the love and the admiration for Vinny, of course, and especially Carmine, for setting people down a
Yep.
path. And
Yep.
it doesn't matter if they're 16 or they're 70.
No.
The
right.
Vanilla Fudge, Carmine, Vinny coming along a couple years later have affected so many careers. And so many, not just careers, but styles.
Yep.
Vinny was like your younger brother.
Yeah.
It's like I used to take him to places, and and he would he was like 10 years old, and I already made it. He used to watch me on the Ed Sullivan Show and all
Oh, that's
that.
so cute.
You know, it was
Yep.
amazing. Then I left the drum set home, and you know, when I came home one time, you know, you understand, we lived in Brooklyn, and Vinny lived in Brooklyn. You know, the small streets of Brooklyn. I pull into my Pantera, you know, Pantera's mid-engine car. Man, I'm all dressed in my English, you know, my English velvets. My hair's all Englished out. And I walk in the house, and all the neighborhood kids go, "Come on, there," you know, and they all come into my mother's house. And there's my brother Vinny, you know, and he drags me into the porch and starts playing drums.
Oh,
And,
that's so cool.
And he said, "Yeah, check this out," you know, and he's playing. I said, "It was good." I said to my mother, "How did he learn this?" He goes, "Are you kidding me? He's in there after school for hours. He's driving me crazy like you did." And that was it, you know, and he just kept going and going. So I sent him for lessons. He was like 9 years old.
Typical little brother.
Right.
Yeah.
Your
But-
mother
but-
got the double whammy.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Time.
But she loved it. She had a name. She said, "Mary's my name, rock and roll's my game." On a
Yeah.
Cool. That's awesome.
Oh, that's
She,
cool.
she loved it. You know, she pushed us to do. I used to have rehearsals in the living room, you know, and Vinny would be sitting on the chair, you know.
Oh, how
And
cute.
it's funny.
It's hard to imagine Vinny like cute, you know? Like,
I know.
You know, just hard. You
I
know,
know.
freaking Black Sabbath, Dio lasted like
Yeah,
you
I know.
little Vinny.
Yeah.
It's just hard.
It
It's
was
just hard
cute.
to do
His
that.
first bands were pretty wimpy,
Were they?
but
Were they a Mariah Carey
but, you know,
tribute?
he wanted to be louder than me. You know, I started that on the Ed Sullivan Show. I was like pounding the drums. I had the big bass drum.
Yeah.
The first 26 bass drum in rock, and I was pounding the hell out of it. And Vinny was watching all that. So when he was growing up, he wanted to be louder than me.
Yeah.
And he had all the technique, so he did all the technique loud.
And he's got that reputation of being one of the biggest bangers
he's loud.
on the rock circuit for sure.
Yeah,
And I can tell you because he's blown several of our speakers and our monitors. I can tell you that
Well-
right now.
Good
Well-
man.
Well, don't feel bad. He's blown his own ears out.
Oh man, I know.
He needs hearing aids, but he won't do it. You know?
Well, Carmen, I gotta tell you, like with siblings go, like even though my brother is on drums and I'm on vocals and guitar, because we grew up playing together, there was always that inherent like little friendly competition going on. Whereas like today,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
we still try to outdo each other for attention. It's
we do
just
that
it's just
when
that that's the way it is. You know, like
When we
on
do-
stage,
when
it's
we
like
do drum wars,
who can
Yeah.
do stuff. Yeah, I bet.
you know, he'll do something, and then I'll do something. Then we try and take it to the next level.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah,
a
but
great
then
show.
But then I'll come up and do something really silly, like strap a snare drum on with the snares in front of me
Yeah.
and play it with a pick.
Oh crap!
And he'll
That's
go,
amazing.
Go, what is that? You know, so we take fours that way. Anyway, we got to talk to Tyler too.
Yeah, dude. Tyler,
I'm
go.
just taking this in. This is great.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Well,
that's what's good about our show. There's nothing scripted except for Ron does some research and throws something out there, and then we just talk. It's really fun.
Well, let me just say, I'm far from scripted. Believe me, I think it's obvious. I'm like,
no, you're
oh.
not scripted, but at least you know, when you were late, Ben said, "Carmine, why don't you open the show?" I'm going, "Great. I don't have any questions ready to go." Well, you do. You know,
Well, you know what?
Melody did all right. She was gonna.
Melody's
I
great.
still have a lot of questions for the both of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
do it, girl.
Okay. First of all, how are you guys' new singles? First with Tyler. I heard the song Pressure.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
That was we kind of whenever all of our tour dates got canceled, like everyone's did, we
Yeah.
just hunkered down in my basement studio and we made that Pressure album, and
That is so cool.
it was just a lot of fun. You know, we've just kind of been stockpiling material, and I know that Lizzie's been doing the same thing, just because
we've all been doing it. I did so much
Yeah.
recording. You know,
just write and record every
who
day.
engineers your albums? Tyler?
Well, the last record that we just finished, I actually engineered it, but the Pressure album, my good friend Roger Allen Nichols engineered it, and he's I think he's like got some of the best ears in Nashville, and he was also willing to come to my house during the whole
Yeah,
the storm
which
where
is
we
awesome,
weren't supposed to
yeah.
see
So
anyone.
you
And,
recorded it all in your house?
yeah,
That's insane.
it was a lot of fun to make, and I like recording at home. It's sort of like an alcoholic living in a bar, you know.
Yeah, it is.
Um,
you walk. In my case, I walked through the garage. I walked to the guest house, and
Yeah.
my drums, except for last week when they had a power surge, lightning hit my computer.
Oh
Oh
no.
And
no.
now it just arrived back at my older brother Frank's house that lives around the corner from Vinny. And when Vinny gets home, he's going to rebuild it for me because he's a computer geek. He
Wow.
built the system in the first place, you know. But I know what you mean about the engineering. I never engineered anything in my life. I have an instrumental album coming out on Cleopatra, and it says engineered by by me and the guitar player who played guitar, bass, and keyboard. I looked at that, and I laughed. I said, "I'm Joe Engineer now."
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm obsessed with the process of engineering. It's sort of that's been something I've kind of averted a lot of my energy to during the pandemic, and I don't
Yeah.
know. I think it's another cool way to express yourself.
A good way to finish it off is once you finish your mixes, is find somebody that masters to analog and back.
Yeah,
Because I do that all the time. It just makes it sound so much better, you
yeah,
know.
And once you understand more of that stuff, and that same thing on our side with the production side, is that it just really, once you start really getting behind all that and really underneath it, it opens up your creativity a lot more. Like, holy crap, I could do this now with this slide or whatever. So
Yeah.
you really find that with the, you can actually see some people's material at one level. They get involved in production and really understand it, and you listen to it versus their other stuff. It's, I'm not completely different, but very different.
Yeah. What about you, Lizzie? Where did you record it? Because you're like in a big studio. Is that your house?
And so for the majority of anything that you've heard from me over the past 2.5 years, maybe with my collaborations, and a lot of our recordings have been done literally here. And so I had to do the learning curve as well, where it's like I now not only have to record all of my own vocals, but I have to comp everything. I have to produce what I'm
Wow.
doing. And
Amazing.
I have never been in that position before. So like you learn as you go along. Again, I'm a big fan of diving headfirst in the Shark Tank, and just figuring it out as I go along. So you say yes to adventure first, and we're just like, what did I just say yes to? That's been my entire life. But with this first single, I ended up doing this in kind of a two-part. So I wrote our this last single that we just released a couple days ago, 2 days ago, yesterday, I don't know. It happened. And I wrote it with this guy named Scott Stevens, who's from a band from the early 2000s called the X's. And he and I had become friends like 10 years ago. We wrote some songs together, whatever. I got back with him, and it was just like the floodgates opened, So before that happened, I was sending a bunch of demos to him. He would send some shit to me, and then all of a sudden we just kind of be like going back and forth. And what the craziest thing about writing during this time is, because I'm sure, Tyler, you can relate, I have never gone this amount of time in my existence in Hailstorm
All of
without
us.
doing a show. Without
of
doing a
us.
show, whatever.
absolutely.
So your only outlet for that drug that you like need right now, which is like that human interaction, that feedback, that whatever it is that happens on stage that's intangible.
Yeah.
All you can do is write about it. So the majority of this record is me just basically taking that outlet and being like, all right, I'm going to write like I'm on stage. Every single moment is for a stage move, for something that I know somebody will sing back to me. And I don't know if I've ever really been in that position, because with all of our records, it's always been kind of this like, we have a whim and we go with it. And then we're like, what do you think, everybody? It's like, here's, put it out in the world, see what happens. And like,
Yeah.
I feel really like, egotistical is not the right word. It may be a little selfish saying right now that like from the material that we have right now, I really feel like this gut feeling like all of a sudden it's going to be like everything unapologetically from me coming out there because of this time. So it's a silver lining. But yeah, I don't know. It's just it's it's good to get something out there, as I'm sure Tyler you can relate, just like putting something out there in the world and being like
Absolutely.
getting that, because it's been a while.
Man.
Talk about playing gigs. I've been doing this all my life.
Yeah.
And this year is 54 years ago.
Wow.
Vanilla Fudge came
That's
out with Keep Me
amazing.
Hanging On.
Wow.
It's unbelievable. And now, actually, today, we're releasing "Stop in the Name of Love," which is another Supreme song with Tim Bogert on it before
Whoa.
That's
he
great.
passed away. It's the
Just
original
recently.
band, and so it kind of closes the door. You know, it opens
Yeah.
dynamics.
Arrangement is amazing.
Yeah,
I think this Vanilla Fudge band's got a future. I really do.
Yeah, you know.
I
You
think
know
it's
what's funny? We recorded that. We recorded that with the bass player that's on the road with us, and Tim was sick. He had stage 4 cancer. You know, and I said, Tim, I really want you to try and play this. So we went to Jorgen Carlson, who's a bass player for Government Mule.
Oh yeah.
We went to his house, and Tim came. He had his pajamas on, you know. And he's always played a 5 or 6 string bass. I always loved him on a 4-string bass. And he said, Carl, I bought this 4-string Fender. I'm going to play this just for you. I said, that's so cool. And you know, so as soon as he plugged in, he saw couldn't remember changes and everything. But once he learned it, it was like this. It was locked.
Cool.
Me and
Oh,
him
yeah.
were so locked together.
Well, that's
It was
chemistry.
magic.
That's chemistry.
cool.
Magic, you know. And then, and we came up with the arrangement. The arrangement was done, and Tim was magic on it. And so it's coming out. It's pre-ordered today. Come out for pre-orders. It's being released actually September 6th, and we have a video that goes with it. And the B
So how do people get it, Carm?
There's a link if you go to my Facebook, Comment a Piece Official. There's a link on there for the pre-order. We had a problem with the website, so by Sunday we should have it all up on the new website. So
That's awesome.
That's
You know
so
what? We
cool.
got a big
and we're
show
going to be
coming
playing
up.
it at your place.
I know, man. I can't wait. That's the
amazing.
same. We got a big show coming up, and you're going to just premiere it by me here in Chicago. And you know what?
very
Before we
first
go
time.
any further, though, this hanging and banging thing every week we're here 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. And what's happening is these guests are just piling up. Carmen, I think you did a little something about who we got coming next week. Let's check that out.
I'll let you know. Comment a piece here for Hangin' and Bangin'. August 23rd, we got a really good show. We got Susie Quattro, an old friend of mine from the 70s. And we also have Josh Todd from Buck Cherry. So Susie goes back a long time. She's done a lot of stuff, and Buck Cherry had some great hits. So come check it out, August 23rd, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, and 4 p.m. over there where Vinny lives. So check it out, and we're going to see you soon, okay? That's on Artists on Lockdown Facebook and Comment a Piece Official on Facebook, Thursday, the 23rd of August. See you then.
Yeah.
That's the wrong one.
It was perfect.
It's
It was
August
magical.
26th.
It looked
It was
perfect.
magical. But it is
Anyway.
next
Yeah.
week. Next
And
Thursday.
it had no
Thursday.
music. And it had no
You know what?
music. Come on.
You know, we'll get there. We'll get there. Lizzie, you know, real quick here, I did want to touch on a little something because, you know, obviously a great performer, obviously a great band, obviously a great songwriter. I mean, all the musical stuff that you do. But you know what's really cool that really I admire you so much. You know, you're into the sincere concern about mental health, and you've done so much down that.
Great.
The hashtag Raise Your Horns thing, it's just incredible. Can you tell me a little bit about just kind of how it, I mean, I kind of think I know how it got there, but tell us how it got
Yeah.
there and where it's at right now. Because it's
just
such a big deal.
Well, it compounded on a couple things. So I have a history, like in my family, there's some mental health situations going on, and obviously we've all been touched in some way. But then it was just after it was like, it was kind of the last straw. You know, there have been a couple people that I had known that had either taken their own life or died because of medication or whatever it is, because of their struggle. And the last one was was Janice, and she died so suddenly, and like we'd only really gotten to know each other, and she seemed very high spirited, all of that thing, but for whatever reason it really affected me, and it was kind of a whim. I wasn't trying to like create a campaign or anything, but I just kind of wanted to bring everyone together just for that moment because I had the tools to do it and the following or whatever. And so I said, like, basically, you know, that if anyone has been struggling or has been touched by mental illness, send a picture, raise your horns, and just to show everyone that you're not alone. And it kind of went gangbusters to the point that everyone's like kind of got on board. I'm like, oh, okay, this is like a real thing. And it's just been so beautiful. It really has been, because it's been a mission statement in my life that I didn't think that I would have really gotten behind, and it's just become so near and dear to my heart. And now, like our community, Yoda the Freak Fam, whoever's watching, but like our whole family, and like just not just the fans, but the crew and the whole team have all gathered around each other. And at any given moment in my socials, I will see some feed come up and just like somebody's just having a bad day. It's like, oh, it's just like, it's been really dark today, or something happened. And then all of a sudden, everyone will just kind of gather and be like, hey, do you want to DM me? Do you want to call me? Like, what's happening? And it has nothing to do with me, man. I'm the host of the party. I just kind of, you open the door, and then everybody just kind of goes through it. And it's such a beautiful thing to be a part of. And so it's and it seeps its way into the songs then at that point, because then it becomes such a huge part of my life that I'm just like, well, this is actually really important. Not that it hasn't ever been that way to me, but it's been more important to me than ever, especially considering the last couple of years where everyone has kind of gone, we've all had to look ourselves in the mirror and be like, who are we? What are we doing with our lives?
Especially 6 months.
So,
Lizzie,
yeah.
you said that it has nothing to do with you, but I think it has a lot to do with you and your heart and who you are. Like, I've been to your shows and I watch, I feel like I just watch people identify with you, and it's like you're up there being a voice for people who are going, oh wait, I have a voice too. And I think that it's awesome. That's what
Thanks, Tyler.
that's like one of the best things about, being a musician, is that you have a way to connect with people. And I think you've really embraced that. And I don't know, that's one of the things I really respect about you and Hailstorm.
Well,
Awesome.
I respect about you too, man. It's like if you're a good person, I think inherently if you're a good person and you come into this business, you're into it for the best reasons possible, because all we want to do, like, look, in a selfish way, all I want to do is make music and make people happy.
Exactly.
But I remember at about 17, because we had some like big aspirations. We'd always joke about getting a Grammy or whatever the hell. It's like, oh yeah, whatever. Yeah, that'll maybe happen. But I remember saying to myself at that point, it was like, if anybody ever listened like to what I have to say, like there is something that clicked in my mind when that started happening, where I'm like, oh, when I was 17, I always said that if anyone was ever listening, I would be putting out that positivity and trying to put out that empowerment and that happiness, because life is too short, but also life is too tough. It's tough for everybody. We're all going through the same thing. So just to have that community right now and feel that community so much, and it's helped me. It's helped me in some of my darkest times, like, and just like
feel good. It makes
even
you
just
feel
like
good
communicating
inside.
with you guys or like with anybody in our fan base. It's like you just feel like you're a part of it, and it's your church, man.
And that's got to be one of the essences that the younger generations, the people got to understand just how powerful the power that you have with your music, your creativity, the way you touch people. Just by one look, one lick, one little note, you could change someone's life. You're on stage, Tyler, with that whole look that a lot of people probably come up to you and say, are you Ron Onesti? They probably confuse you for me a lot, but you're probably on stage and you're doing your jamming. You're doing your jamming. But that's the thing, though. You're doing your jamming, and you got those people, girls, guys, whatever, all in the front. I mean, you give them one look, man, you've touched them, and they feel the music.
You just never know how music's going to affect somebody.
That's right.
Like when I was talking about the guy I met in a music store, I had no aspirations of being a musician, and him sharing a record with me changed the entire course of my life. And then all of a sudden, instead of hanging out in Paris, Texas, I'm meeting people who are like-minded and passionate about the same thing in Paris, France, and in Portugal, and in Singapore. And
at 17 and 18 years old.
And you start realizing that, like, oh man, everybody has different beliefs about everything. But then when they're standing at a show, they're unified in this thing that they're all moved by. And I think I don't know. And I've experienced that at your shows, Lizzie, because you shine a light on that. And, I don't know. I think it's just something that's really powerful that you can't get anywhere else.
Dude, the rock show doesn't care if you're a boy or a girl or what you do for a living or your skin color or who you want to kiss. It's like nobody cares. It's like we all feel the same thing for music, and I think it's our common medium.
Yeah.
I know Melody, I know you felt that from your shows, and I see from your faces with the performances that I see from you, it's like you're in it. You go to another place, which is so beautiful. Like you know where that zone is. It's awesome.
Thank you so much. I mean, I remember back in 2017, my brother and sister and my dad went and saw one of your shows at the House of Blues in California. And oh man, we just had a blast, and I just loved it when you did the crane with your high heels. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't even walk in high heels. And I was like holding on to like the beam just to see you because everybody was so tall. And then you pointed at me, but I don't think you remembered me. But yeah, it was awesome.
Oh,
So you
that's
touched
cool,
her.
man.
You touched her, Lizzie.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Speaking about high heels, I have a question. Are you wearing a turquoise ring, Tyler?
Yeah.
Speaking of high heels.
Yeah.
I don't know where the screen is. There it is.
Oh, there you go, man.
And
Oh, I love
Whoa, that's
I've been
cool.
collecting this stuff all my life. I've got pieces I bought in 1970.
it. Dude, so I got to tell you this story. I got in an antique shop, I found this old turquoise squash blossom, like one of the big pawn jewelry pieces.
Yeah.
And so I got it. And then the box had my grandmother's name on the inside, and it was my grandmother's.
No.
What?
No way.
Is that not crazy?
That's crazy. That
Lizzie,
just blew my mind.
It's
still
the
have
one
it?
that's
You still
it's the
have it?
one. It's hanging up in my studio.
Okay, that was the one that we were commenting on earlier. Okay,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Wow, that is
Dude.
crazy.
Yeah, it's
How
cool.
heavy? I bet it was heavy too.
Very heavy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
I used to
heavy.
have the belts. I
Wow.
had to have
Smokes.
the belts
You were-
and the bracelets. And
It found you, man. You were meant to have that.
I
That's
think
amazing.
I think stuff happens like
Unbelievable.
that sometimes.
That
You
is
I
know.
think so
unbelievable.
too.
And she passed away recently, and so now I've got it like hanging in my studio, and it's
Yeah.
just cool how that stuff kind of comes back around.
Yeah.
Ugh,
Because no telling how
amazing.
long it was there, you know, in that antique shop.
Wow.
that's amazing.
Did you pay a lot?
Wow.
How long ago did you buy it?
So it was $250,
Wow.
and I had it.
Rich pay.
I had it appraised.
It's cheap.
I had it appraised for like almost $3,000.
Yeah, I know. I was
Wow.
gonna
Yeah, but
say,
sentimental value,
It's cheap.
priceless.
I would never sell it. Yeah.
Priceless.
I know, but
yeah.
that is very cheap. How long ago did you buy it?
Oh, years ago,
Man.
Yeah.
10 years?
That's
10
amazing.
years? 10 years?
probably 6 years.
6
Wow.
years. I mean, 6 years ago, a bracelet, a squash blossom bracelet was probably $600.
My dad's the one that found it because he knows that I'm into that kind of thing, and
Yeah.
it's crazy.
You know, speaking of high heels, it's cool about your grandma.
Well, you're wearing them on.
No, because I'd be
Show
up
us.
here.
Speaking of high heels, Lizzie, I want to know a question.
That will live on. Let me just tell you, on this show, that is going to live on. Your
No one's
connection
gonna know.
You're lucky Vinny's not
Maybe
here.
I
hashtag
know.
high
Your,
heels.
your transcendence from one thing to another, Carmine, is going to be legendary.
Yes, that is very
I
true.
do want to know.
That's me.
What's up, Millie?
I do want to know that. Did you dye your hair because of the Cruella de Vil movie?
Oh,
I've
no.
seen a lot of people doing that.
You know what's funny? No, I had it dyed right before I literally found out about that movie coming out.
Oh, wow.
But it was my my guitar player's nieces who brought it to my attention. They're like, "Oh, look, you're like Cruella." I'm like, "Oh no,
No, that's all you need.
no, it's totally fine." No, it was completely on a whim. Actually, it was like the first time I had gone to a hairdresser when everything was kind of like low. Now you can kind of like my roots are coming in now. It's been a second.
Hey, I wish I had roots, okay?
but-
But I'm lucky.
I'll give you some of mine. It's cool.
I
You
just
can
have
borrow 'em.
I just have seedlings, no roots.
You're talking about
They're
hair.
just trying. They're just trying.
I got fed up with
Yeah.
dyeing hair, and
Well,
I
like-
ended up like this.
So, like, how many different hairstyles have you gone throughout your career
Oh
life?
man, some better than others. I've been a redhead. I've been dark. I've been blonde. I've been green. I've been purple. I had a purple mullet at one point, which was a dark. It was a dark time in fashion for me because we had released our debut record in '09, and then we went out on this really big tour in 2010. And last time I'll ever do this, so my management team had suggested I go to this hairdresser in New York City who's like the guy, whatever, like give me a look, something. So I had hair like maybe down to here, like, just kind of like shoulder length, just all kind of like one color. And I went to this guy who's like, oh, well, we want to like do kind of like an interview with you there since you're going to be in New York. Like, you know how it happens. Like you go into cities and it's like, there's a lot of stuff to do. So I'm doing this interview, and then so this guy comes up to me, and the hairdresser, and he's like, oh, so I love your face. I'm like, okay. And he's like, well, I want to do something to frame your face. I'm like, that's fine. And so I'm doing this interview, and I'm not looking in the mirror. All of a sudden, it's like all my hair is gone.
Oh.
And I got these like micro bangs with the like mullet thing, and I'm like, oh, is that what you saw in my face? Okay. So anyway, so then long story short, we go out on the next tour, and all of our promo photos, which have me like with like long brown hair, I look nothing like. So I'm like incognito before incognito was even a thing in our career. It's like nobody knew I was in the band whatsoever.
That
It was
happened to me
funny.
today at the airport. I was coming from New York to Florida, and I give the TSA guy my license that looks like me with black and purple hair.
Yeah.
Right? And he looks at me, and I take the mask off, and he goes, after like a minute or two, he goes, "You have any other proof?"
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I have a passport. So I give him the passport. There's black and white picture of me with black, and you can tell there's another color in there. And he looks at me, and says, "Do you have anything else?"
No way.
Yeah, so I had to give him 3 pieces of ID to prove it was me because I never had this.
No,
Yeah.
I always
it's
had
beautiful.
I always
It
had
happens.
It's funny. It's
I
beautiful.
always had it like Tyler, always down, in front of my face, and you just used to see this, Now I got
we
my
have,
mafia look. Man, I'm
You
taking
gotta keep
after
people on
Ron.
their toes.
I
Yeah.
got my mafia look after Ron.
He's the Cuban drug cartel lord lately. This guy with his hair. We have a thing on here, Lizzie, that it's one of my I have favorite album names, favorite song names, and I gotta say, I mean, Grammy Award winner. We got to say that. Congratulations. It's been a couple years, 2022,
Hold on.
but
Hold
still,
on, I got it.
I love it. Well, where's it at? There it is. No, wait.
Hey, there
Okay,
you
fine.
go.
Wait a second.
That's beautiful.
That's beautiful. Now, I want to see the other trophy, though. Is that near it?
Which one?
Come on now.
Which one?
I think it's from, let me think, 1997, some talent competition.
I have
Something.
1 second. I have it right over here.
Okay. All right.
Hold on.
Amazing.
Come on.
Funny.
Isn't that something? Isn't it cool, you guys, to be talking to someone actually talking to all you guys? It's something. You look at Carmine. You're like, what, 95 or whatever you are? Okay, you got
I'm
Carmine.
95, yeah,
And then you got Lizzie at 37. You got Tyler at 30.
30.
Melody, what are you?
Look, it
22?
says
22.
I'm
you
12.
can't really see it.
Yeah, look at it. See that?
Hold it down.
1997. Hold on.
Hold it down, Mo.
There
Hold
you
it
go.
down. Oh,
Look
yeah.
at that.
So what did you win that for?
Third
Third
place.
place.
What is
The
it?
Schuylkill County Fair Talent Show. Literally the day we named the band Hailstorm.
Awesome.
And it was fun. So we lost. There were 2 girls in front of us. It was one girl. She was like 8. She sang Little Orphan Annie like tomorrow. And then the second place was a tap dancing cowgirl who was like a gymnastics chick. And then it was like my brother and I, who, this is all your fault, Carmine, by the way. So we were just into like actually writing songs together, and we were very deep into Vanilla Fudge. And so there was that performance that I told you about earlier about, you guys doing Keep Me Hanging On. And so we had this, I swear, it was a 5-minute song. It had a psychedelic thing, because at the time I wasn't playing guitar, I was playing keyboard. So I had like a Moog synthesizer thing, and it was just my brother. So it was just the 2 of us on stage. We had a drum solo in the middle of it, just a freaking breakdown because that's what we thought we needed to do, you know? And so we definitely rocked harder than those other girls. And that's, I guess, why we got the third place, because it was like an honorable, like, well, they're trying. God bless them. But
it's awesome that you still hang on to it as like inspiration.
This is very important. It's very important.
I won a talent contest in Lakewood, New Jersey at a block. They used to have a Thursday night block dance, and they used to have a talent contest. And I won first prize. And you know what my prize was? A lamp. A freaking lamp.
Do you still have the lamp?
All my life. All my life until I moved to Florida. And the lamp broke.
Oh, no.
In L.A., in the house in L.A., in the garage, where we're packing it up. Something happened, it just fell apart. It's, old,
You know, the song I was actually talking about that you won the Grammy, tell everybody that you...
Uh-oh.
He got stuck. He got stuck.
Okay. What's the song you had the Grammy with?
There
Which
we go.
one?
It's Love Bites, and So Do I.
Yeah,
I love that song.
I love that one. You guys, this has been really incredible. It's been one of the best 47 minutes I've ever spent. Not the 60. But Melody, thank you for joining us tonight. Thanks for helping me out, man. You're really
so great to see you, darling.
If you need me again, I'll come back.
Well, you know what? I think I'm feeling like I'm on my way out over here. So you may get the call. Tyler, wish you all the best, brother. You keep on rocking. We're looking forward to bringing all you guys.
I want to see you play live, Tyler. Play some of that guitar.
Yeah,
dude.
let's jam.
Yeah, man.
That's it. You got to get this jam going, Karma. For this generational jam, we'll call it.
Yeah,
let's make a jam happen.
Hell yeah! And Lizzie, what can we say? The fourth generation Lizzie Hale is an incredible.
I'm on my fourth generation. No.
Yes. Thank you very much for joining us. We wish you the best with Hailstorm. We can't wait to get you back here in Chicago. And everybody, thank you for joining us right here on Artists on Lockdown, hanging and banging every Thursday night. Carmen, I'm going to get this right. It's 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central Time every Thursday. And we'll see you next week right here. Same bat channel, same bat place. Artists on Lockdown, hanging and banging. Thanks, guys. See you next week.